So again, of course I don't want, and I'm not entitled to intimate knowledge of whatever it is with the king, but because of the extraordinary position that he has, and for most of us, not all I accept, for most of us, the love and the affection we hold for him, shouldn't we be allowed to know just a little bit more? Let's turn to Charlotte Griffiths, who's editor-at-large of the Mail on Sunday, so she's going to be a busy woman, I would think, through today and tomorrow, filing copy for the edition. Joining me now, of course, Charlotte, you're a journalist. You know, in our business, a little information is a dangerous thing, because you put honey on our lips and we just got to lick, we just got to find out more. Charlotte, good morning.
I totally agree with that. I mean, the never complain, never explain narrative that the late Queen did was so simple. Very frustrating for journalists like you and I, because we always want to know everything, we're nosy. But it was so simple. You know, we didn't really know what illnesses the Queen had while she was alive until years after her death, when Boris Johnson revealed she'd had blood cancer. It made life very serious and simple. And don't forget, the monarchy is supposed to be consistent, calming, soothing influence for the nation. And what happens when you start releasing a little bit of information, like he's had an adverse reaction to cancer treatment, but we don't know what the cancer treatment is, and we don't even know what the cancer is that, as you say, in that void, everyone gets a bit excited and they keep digging and keep looking.
So are you suggesting actually that the late Queen's was the better policy? Don't complain, don't explain. We are private in this area. We're not even going to open the door a fraction.
Well, I think it's sacrilegious to agree with you as a journalist, but yes, basically, you know, it was a lot simpler. It was less complicated to ride that kind of very narrow pathway between giving information to the public, earning their trust, but then withholding some bits of information. And I know the reason why they don't want to reveal what kind of cancer he has is to stop us speculating what his life expectancy is, which is a very, very sensible thing to do. But when you say he's having treatment and you don't know what kind of treatment it is, you're just opening a whole Pandora's box of questions.
You've actually virtually answered my final question. Was you are familiar what's going on in the corridors of the palaces and the castles and the houses and whatever it is. If I was to say, look, just tell us that it is blood cancer, that it is lung, which is what my father succumbed to, it is whatever. The fear then is it, Charlotte, then we'll say he's got X to live. Is that where we're going with this?
I think so, and I think it's kind of the same with the treatment. If you know he's having chemotherapy, then speculation is, oh well, this kind of chemotherapy is easy to cope with, but radiotherapy isn't easy to cope with, or whatever way round. It just opens too many questions. And I think it's the same with Catherine when she had cancer as well. I think one of the reasons she hasn't revealed what kind of cancer she has is again, people thinking, well, my mother or my father had that and he only lasted 2 years, or he lasted 10 years.
Yes, of course.
You know, people have those, but it's such a relatable thing to talk about cancer. So it's also kind of good publicity for them to help connect with their public to talk about cancer. But then to not say what kind of cancer they have just confuses people, I think.
I'll let you get back to getting ready to file your copy for this weekend's edition. Thank you, Charlotte Griffiths, editor-at-large for the Mail on Sunday. So if we had a little bit more information, would it be a positive or would it be a negative? And while I totally agree with what Charlotte said, the fact that the Princess of Wales and the King have come out and said they've got cancer is, to me, a positive, because it shows that they are normal people. But also, is there an opportunity lost? Because if we knew, and this is purely for the purpose of debate, right? I hasten to add, I have no inside knowledge whatsoever, but it bizarrely does tie into a report I'm going to bring you later, in that I had a PSA, a prostate test, done earlier this week. So purely for the purpose of debate, and I'm not saying it is, if that was the condition the King was suffering with, doesn't that add to the impact that he would do, that he can then discuss it? Or are you the side, it's none of our business?